Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, via Zoom is...
Matthew Bueller.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good name.
Yep.
So, Matt, I got a kind of a statement question for you here. Question statement. It's a new phrase I come up with. Okay. So okay. Here's the thing, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss that they made a TV series based on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. In 1990.
I think that's good to know.
Yeah. So, anyways, today in our latest adventure into the air of the pilot error, where we take a look at the pilots of television series that lasted one season or less. Today we take a look at the 1990 television series, Ferris Bueller. Based on the 1986 John Hughes film, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's a half-hour sitcom developed by John Messias, who He's credited for creating Touched by an Angel,
Wow.
Providence, and Hawthorne. Not familiar with Hawthorne. Yeah.
I think I remember Providence.
Yeah.
Touched by an Angel.
He won 2 Writing Emmy Awards for the drama St. Elsewhere. He also received a Writers Guild Award and Humanitas Prize for his writing on St. Elsewhere. He also received the Humanitas Prize for his writing on the series Brooklyn Bridge. Yep.
Wow.
Also, he was the creator of St. Elsewhere, Touched by an Angel. He worked on L.A. Law, which comes into play in this episode. He was creator of The Single Guy, The Visitor, Dead Like Me. Yeah.
Wow.
I liked Dead Like Me. That was a good show. Did you ever see that show?
No.
It's a good show. Check it out, folks. Check it out.
Wow.
That was my recommendation.
We did all of this.
Yeah. And he created Ferris Bueller, the TV series. Not the character.
Yeah.
So, we have a pilot that stars Charlie Schlatter as Ferris Bueller, Richard Reilly, who's my Facebook friend, who will be on a future episode, hopefully, as Principal Ed Rooney, Sam Freed as Bill Bueller, Jennifer Aniston, you know, prior to Friends, as Jeannie Bueller, Amy Dolenz, the daughter of Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, as Sloane Peterson, Brandon Douglas as Cameron Fry, and Judith Kahan as Grace. Yeah. So, what happened in this pilot here, Matt?
Wow. Okay, so this is one of the most meta TV show episodes I've seen in my life, and I don't even think that was even a concept really at that time, and I don't think it was intentional at all. But so it starts off with Ferris waking up, and he's talking to the camera, just like in the movie. And then he pulls out a cardboard cutout of Matthew Broderick and says that he didn't like the fact that they cast him to play Ferris, the real Ferris, which is the TV show Ferris, you know, as the lead role, because apparently they made a movie about his life, even though he's only 16 years old, because of his antics at a high school, I guess. Okay. And then he takes a chainsaw and cuts his head off. Cardboard, you know, Matthew Broderick cardboard cutout, cuts his head off from the shoulder down. He's like, yeah, that's better or whatever. And it's like, okay. So this is the real Ferris Bueller, the TV show. The movie Ferris Bueller is about him. But as we find out in the show, that movie must have taken place in at least 2 years or 1 year in the future than what the show is. So now time travel is involved in the show, which just makes it even more meta. So the cast of Legends of Tomorrow get involved somehow, and they end up messing up time, or Barry Allen, as you pointed out last night.
Yeah.
You know, did he do something by creating Flashpoint and then he messed up with the timeline? Or was it Wanda from WandaVision? Did she end up fucking with reality so much that she created this sort of alternate world where the TV show. Anyway, so because in the movie, Sloane is already his girlfriend, and they're seniors in high school at this point. And in this show, she's a new transfer to the high school that he doesn't even know her, but he says, and we're going to fall in love. So you're sitting there thinking, okay, well, is it just because he sees like some cute girl that he wants to date or whatever? Or has he seen the movie? I mean, he has seen the movie, but does he know that the movie takes place in the future and he already knows what's going to happen? So he knows that.
Or maybe this is maybe this is future Ferris narrating the show, but somehow inhabiting the body of younger Ferris.
Whoa. So, oh my God. So it's even more meta. So yeah, so this could have been, but he looks different than Matthew. I mean, that Matthew. Yeah. So yeah, this could have been like Ferris from a year or two in the future being sent back to this timeline. But then that creates a time loop then, because that means that future Ferris would have already existed to begin with in order to go back in time, in order to create the events that would then lead to the movie, which would then lead to him knowing that he's going to be with Sloane. So then it just goes like that in a sort of eternal circle. Okay, wow. So this is getting really interesting. So anyway, apparently he's like a computer hacker. Like all these movies, like apparently these teenagers just know everything about computers somehow, and like they just use their like DOS bullshit. That's a really old reference for anyone who's like younger than like 48,000 years old. DOS, that was like old computer shit right there.
Or DOS, as people call it too.
Is that what it's called, DOS? Okay, yeah. I always call it DOS because I thought.
Well,
yeah,
it's
DOS.
Yeah. It is. That's the proper thing. What you're calling it, but other people refer to it as DOS.
DOS. So what does it stand for? DOS is like stand for something or
something operating system. I don't know what.
I don't know
what the D is.
Yeah, disk operating system. Something. Probably. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So he's somehow able to, he puts up a picture of Sloane as the new transfer. Again, this is 1990, so it's not like you could just easily do something like that. And he decides to go down to for breakfast or whatever. His sister is complaining that he's making a bunch of noise or whatever. Oh, that was when he was cutting Matthew Broderick's head off with a chainsaw, and then she's trying to do her eyebrows or whatever. And then we go downstairs, and his parents are completely different. They act completely, different personalities completely. His mom is like this doting kind of parental figure, and his dad's kind of just has his face buried in the newspaper.
Basically, oblivious to the world.
Yeah. And then she makes him put the paper down, and she's like, "You have any fatherly advice?" By the way, this whole episode has like tons of really stupid jokes that don't make any sense or have any context. So he puts down a paper and he's like, "Son, make sure never to invade Russia in the winter." And Ferris is like, "Okay, I'll have to reschedule." What? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no context to it. And then Jeannie comes down, and by the way, she plays his older sister in the show,
which makes sense for a TV show, because in the TV in a TV show it would make more sense for her to be older, because you don't want the older brother basically bullying the younger sister.
Right. True. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So they kind of have this back and forth. Ferris charms both his parents, and then they go to work, and then Jeannie's like, "You may have, pulled the wool over their eyes, but, I see through you," or whatever type of thing. And she's like, "All right, ground rules about high school or whatever. Nobody knows we are related. Nobody, don't talk to me. Which is weird because he's 16 years old, which means that they already would have been at high school for a while. So why would she be telling him this for his third year of high school? We don't know each other. Like, that would seem like that would be something you would say, like, when someone's just getting into high school. You know what I mean? Like,
my theory on this is like sometimes some school systems, the way that they're set up, freshman and sophomore school is a different school than junior and senior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a lot. Like, I remember seeing that in movies and TV shows back then. So that's my theory, is that maybe it's like, because there's like a junior high school and a senior high school, and I know that junior high we think of 7th and 8th grade in the Midwest, but I think a lot of times that was considered middle school out there, and then you had junior high and senior high, which were like freshmen, and not to be confused with junior year of high school. So it, just to make things more confusing, some school districts run things differently. Yeah,
right.
They have the same number of years, but the way that they're split up is different. So that I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Either that, or it was just a fucked up writing.
Right. I mean, it could have been like that in Santa Monica too, because I know in my school it was 7th and 8th grade was junior high, but then right after, excuse me, sorry, it was so when I was in 7th grade, it was 7th and 8th grade, but then when I was in 8th grade, they moved 6th grade into junior high.
Oh, okay.
So then, and I was pissed off about that because I'm like, I don't want 6th graders, whatever, little kids, type of thing. But yeah, okay. So yeah, she does this whole thing where and she's like, I'm not gonna drive you around or whatever, and then it turns out that he ordered a limousine to pick him up to go to school for some reason, and then he picks up. Anyway, well, I don't want to say I don't want to do the whole thing. So what else happened?
So he picks up Cameron, his best friend, played in this show by Brandon Douglas. By the way, his mom is played by Christine Rose, who I've been watching a lot of How I Met Your Mother lately, and she plays Ted's mom on that show. So, yeah, just an interesting side fact. Trying to remember exactly what happens next. He goes to he's on his way to school. He's running late. There's a like school announcement meeting sort of thing out in the outside of the school that Mr. Rooney is having, and Ferris shows up late. Mr. Rooney, by the way, played by, and I'm not saying that just because we're Facebook friends, but Richard Riehle is probably the best part of this whole show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In like every episode, honestly, because I didn't watch every episode, but I remember watching it when it was on, and then when they reran it on like TV Land or something years later, I used to watch it on there too. I actually enjoyed the show, and I do think, this pilot is not a good pilot. I think the show got better when it kind of became its own thing as it went on, but it only lasted 13 episodes, and then it had the it also had the bad misfortune of coming out at the same time as Parker Lewis Can't Lose, the TV show, which was basically like a Ferris Bueller clone, but written better, in my opinion. And then you also had, of this era, you had your Zach Morris coming out around that time too, which was basically a Ferris Bueller clone. And, so you kind of had you already had your Ferris Buellers. You didn't really need Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
So.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And plus, too, they had an episode. I didn't watch it, but they had an episode called like Ferris Bueller Can't Win or something like that.
Yeah.
In the, so that's like another aspect of how meta the show was without them really even like knowing what that was or anything.
Yeah. That was before the word meta was kind of even coined, I think. So while Rooney's on stage giving his speech, Ferris shows up and he's got this remote control that Rooney ends up sinking on stage because he like makes he has a trap door or something on the stage. So hilarity ensues. Like it does.
Bueller.
Yeah. And we forgot the I don't know when it was, but the opening credits are some of the most 1990 opening credits ever made. It's just like Bueller with a bunch of like words walking around, in a white void for most of it. And the music is all like synthesizer sounds, like the one scene in the movie where he used a synthesizer to like create weird sounds of like coughing and all this other shit. Somebody thought, hey, let's score the whole TV show like that.
Yep, it's the whole throwaway line or the throwaway scene becomes like a major part of the show or whatever.
Yeah.
God, that music was bad. Like, Bueller.
Yeah, it's like
the
Ferris.
synth was so. Yeah, Ferris.
Bueller.
God,
and like it's sad though. It gets stuck in your head though.
Well, I know. I'm still thinking about it now. It's pissing me off. But it also too, like, throughout the whole episode, like, it would just out of nowhere would just go Bueller, like okay, like we know who he is, like
Do you want to take a quick break here, Matt, and we'll talk more about the rest of the episode?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
It's the ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the ninja wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the conscript to give you the ninja news. And we got the battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So ask me a question. We'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
And we are back.
Bueller.
Ferris.
Okay.
All right. So, folks, Ferris Bueller.
Good boxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The TV show. The pilot. Yep. So what happens next here, Matthew?
Next is, after, Rooney falls through the hole or whatever, apparently Ferris, has, the hookup for, literally everything in the world, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how, they kind of touched on this in the movie a little bit, but, no, he apparently can, give parking to anyone that wants to park their vehicle in, the teacher's area, which is okay. And then these two girls are complaining about having macaroni and cheese for lunch on Thursdays, so then he somehow arranges linguine and pesto, by making a phone call, okay. And they're like, oh, cool, what's pesto? And it's like, okay. And then Cameron, all the while, is like, Rooney's got a tight eye on the, teacher's parking or whatever, and, oh, you're gonna mess up his favorite meal or whatever, I don't know. And, so then he also, oh, by the way, too, so before they even went to school, Ferris, with his magical hacking skills, again, with his computer inside the car, was able to, basically removed Cameron from gym class because he didn't want to be in gym, and so he scheduled himself to be in all the same classes as Sloane, and it's like, wow, like he's got some pretty advanced, hacking skills that nobody's like detecting at all. Like, so then he basically, again, so like he knows they're gonna fall in love because he's seen his future played by Matthew Broderick, which he didn't like. So he already knows. So my theory about this, again, to kind of go back to the time travel aspect of this whole TV show, is that the reason why Ferris is so confident is that he already knows his future. So he already knows what's going to work out, what's not going to work out, and perhaps he's even seen his own demise. So we kind of got like a big fish kind of element going on here too. So like, he's just not afraid of anything. He just knows everything's going to work out okay. So he schedules himself to be in all of Sloane's classes, and he's like trying to get her attention in Latin class in a really weird, creepy way, where he's like literally just like facing her and like talking to her, and she's just like staring at like the chalkboard, like not paying attention to him or whatever. And then like every single class, and I mean every single class, he like says something really stupid that he thinks is funny, which again is interesting because it's like, if you've already seen your future, what do you know, like what jokes land and what jokes don't land, or are you just not privy to that knowledge of the future? Like you're only privy to like basic things, but not like full on details. I don't know. But anyway, the jokes are stupid, and then he always ends the joke by the way, did you know my name is Ferris Bueller? It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure by like the 7th class of the day, she knows who your fucking name is. Okay, shut the fuck up. Like, she hasn't said any. Another thing about that. Okay, so he schedules to be in all of her classes, but how does he automatically get to be her lab partner in every single one of these classes? Like, how does that work out? Like, teachers usually assign, it's not like you just get to pick every single class. Whatever. Okay, maybe I'm reading too much into.
Probably reading too much into it.
Yeah. No, the show was meta before meta was a thing, and everything they did was pre-thought out. So I'm taking them to task for this. So so they're doing like this weird like driving ed course where they're like in like a fake car with like a TV screen, and they're supposed to be like pretending to drive, I guess. I don't know. Really, really advanced school for like 1990. But hey, I guess there's only the best for Ferris and Santa Monica. Oh yeah, to bring to that point, Ferris Bueller's Day Off movie takes place in Chicago.
Yeah, it was basically a love letter to the city too, because it was so, it's such a Chicago movie. It's
it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, like,
and there was no reason whatsoever to set the show in Santa Monica, except for the fact that we have a scene coming up at a beach.
That's it. That's it, literally. And it's not an important scene whatsoever. And there was one scene earlier when they were picking up Cameron, they showed the beach a little bit. But, because again, so he picks, another thing about that, so he picks up Cameron just like standing on the street somewhere, not anywhere near a residential neighborhood. So it's like, so Cameron has to like meet you halfway for him to pick him up with the limousine. Like, that's a weird, okay, whatever. That's a weird thing to do, but okay, so that's what he did. And then they fail the driving thing or whatever. They get into like a fake accident or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, we should eat lunch together or something, some bullshit, I don't know." And then like finally, but before this time, Sloane never even talked once. Like, she literally just like would like shake her head or just like ignore him, which was the better response, really, and just completely ignored this fucking idiot. So, and she's like, who has the car or whatever, you or the dummy? So like, okay, that's a pretty shallow person right there.
Yep.
She wasn't like that movie, but in the show, she's apparently. That's another thing too. So like, not only does she look nothing like the actress who played Sloane in the movie, her personality is completely different, not even close to being accurate.
Yeah, like Sloane
is a little bit.
Yeah, Sloane in the movie was like a strong woman. I mean, for the time, maybe not, like modern day strong, but 80s strong, movie wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, this character, at least in the pilot, I mean, like I said, the show I thought the show got better as it went on, but I haven't seen the other episodes in probably 15 years or more, so it's like, at least, so it's hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be sure to check it out, actually, because I'm actually kind of morbidly interested in see how the show goes.
Yes, me too.
So I might actually check. Maybe we can do another episode about like if it gets better or not, or something.
Yeah,
like
maybe we'll revisit this or something, or if we ever have Richard Reilly on the show, we can talk to him about it a little bit. The whole, I mean, the whole show didn't last even a whole season, but if you want to watch the whole show, somebody was kind enough to upload every episode to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I think there might even be like a DVD release of this too, though. So so you might want to, if you want to do it legally, you might even want to buy that. I don't know,
Yeah.
If you really like Ferris Bueller,
if you're
or if you really hate Ferris Bueller, I don't know.
Yeah, you could hate watch it too, I guess. Because that's what I was doing pretty much. So they go to the beach on their little beach date or whatever, cut class, and she's kind of nervous because she's never cut class. Oh yeah, she said she used to go to a parochial school, which again seems like totally out of character for Sloane, but whatever. And so she's used to like kind of strict. Parochial schools are kind of like. Are they kind of like religious schools, like Montessori? Yeah. Well, Montessori is not really religious.
Well, parochial just means like a non-public school.
Okay.
Yeah, like some kind of fancy school or something. It could be a Catholic school. It could be some kind of Montessori school or whatever, something like that. Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say.
Yeah, because I went to Montessori school for one. I think it wasn't even a full year. I think it was just 6 months. But like, I still remember shit from that. And I was like, that was preschool for me. That wasn't even kindergarten. So like, their methods must really work. That for like a mere 6 month stint when I was 4 years old, and I still remember like some of their like methods and shit like that. So it's like very interesting. But
I went to Catholic school for 13 years. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 13 and a half, technically, because I did take a half a semester of a Catholic college, too. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, a half a year, not a half a semester. But, yeah. Yep.
Half a semester.
Yeah, no. Might as well have, because I failed out. But anyways,
No.
Oh, my life sucks. I wasn't able to hack into the system and make everything better.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't have the hacking skills of TV Ferris, which is DOS bullshit and whatever. Anyway, so
and I didn't have a soundtrack following me around all the time to remind me of my name.
Exactly. Call in,
Michael. Call in.
I mean, I can do that from now on. I can just show up to like your work and stuff with like a keyboard and just like play. Call in.
I'm thinking that would get annoying after a while. Just.
Yeah, probably. I'd probably get kicked out too.
Yeah.
But, so they do their dumb beach date or whatever, and she's like, "I want to be a ballet or something. I don't know what's dance, like some kind of dancer or some bullshit."
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bullshit, whatever. And then she like runs off, and then she falls in the sand, and he's like, What does she have to lose? Well, besides her balance. Then he calls her a wench, I guess. I think.
But in like a loving way.
I guess, yeah. And it's like, okay. So then they go back to school, and then Rooney is like there waiting. Oh yeah, the reason why Rooney knows. Okay, I'm getting a little the narration. I'm getting the timeline fucked up here. But then again,
it's
the whole timeline The show is fucked up because of the time travel aspect. So Rooney knows that he's gone because he stole his sister's car to go to the beach.
Yeah, and
then
Jeannie like reported that it was stolen at the same time, and then Rooney writes her up for being out of class.
Right, yeah, he's really strict because he wrote her up for being late as well. Oh yeah, that's the other weird joke. I don't know if this was like I don't know if this was meant to be like a sexual joke or if I don't know if it was just one of those weird jokes that didn't make any sense because there's no context to it. But he said that you're late and writes a slip, and he's like, you know what that means? And she says, yeah, I won't go to heaven. So I don't know if that was like, like late, like if she's pregnant. I don't know.
I don't know what that
I don't
meant.
know.
Yeah.
Like,
my mind didn't even go there. I just thought it was a badly written line.
Well, I was just thinking because, if you're late, you're a teenager, you got pregnant, it's most likely that you're not married.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're not going to. Maybe I'm reading way too into this. I don't know. Like I said, but I don't know. So anyway, okay, this is the cool. This is like a really meta part comes up here. Like this whole episode is just full of these like weird meta moments. Like again, I don't even think they even knew they were doing it, or if it was even a concept back then. So they got the dude who played in L.A. Law. Ferris basically, like, I guess the guy owes him a favor or whatever, because again, Ferris has the hookup even for like middle-aged adults at this point, which is kind of questionable. Okay,
yeah, he has Alan Rations, who was one of the lawyers on L.A. Law at the time, which was like one of the top-rated television shows at that time. And it makes sense because like the guy that created this for television wrote on L.A. Law, so it makes sense that he would have the hookup.
Yeah. I mean, it does, yeah. So he basically has this guy pretend to be a lawyer to Rooney, and just threatens all these lawsuits and all this crap or whatever, and then basically talked him down to just like, detention or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the Grace even like mentioned, like she actually thinks that he's like the lawyer from the show, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Is that true? Or
I think so.
And he's like, I'm not really whatever, So that's like really meta. I mean, that really is like that was. I mean, I don't remember much. I was just a little kid when that show was on, so I don't remember watching it that much. Maybe my parents did or something. I don't know. But so that was kind of funny. That was pretty cool. And then so then I forgot what else happens. Some bullshit where his sister has to go to detention.
Yeah, she's in detention as well. She shows up to the detention. Ferris isn't there. He put that dummy from the driving scene in his seat.
Right.
And somehow nobody bothered to check the front of the person to see if it was real.
Right. Wait, no, I got the timeline now. So that was when he stole the car, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be in detention before. Okay, so what was the lawyer for? What was that?
No,
for
that was after. I think. I thought.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That was after he stole the car. Yeah.
Okay. So he just didn't show up to detention, I guess. Okay, and then
when Rooney found them, Sloane basically was the reason she ratted him out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and then later on in the episode, she talks about how she wants to, like you said, go to ballet school and stuff. So she basically is talking about transferring again.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right, yeah.
Which probably sets up the plot of like of a future episode of Ferris basically trying to gaslight her into staying at the school or something.
Yeah, actually, I think he does worse than that. I think he actually, I think I read that he actually makes it like he does his stupid computer bullshit again, and actually makes it so she can't transfer like until like 3 months later. So yeah, like he's a very manipulative person.
Yeah,
which is again. So apparently Matthew Broderick Ferris Bueller was a much nicer person.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, since it does take place like 2 years in the future, maybe he changes his ways within that 2 years. And maybe the family moves to Chicago. So maybe that's why, but then Cameron and Sloan also moved. That's kind of...
And Mr.
Rooney.
Rooney.
Like a Saved by the Bell type of thing.
And Mr. Rooney,
Yeah,
like Mr. Belden
that's
did.
a Saved by the Bell.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The whole town just moves to California, Bayside, California.
It's like the opposite of the Miss Bliss
like,
Saved
okay.
by the Bell thing, because in the Miss Bliss thing, they moved from the Midwest to California, and this they'll move from California to the Midwest. So,
Yeah. But, Chicago's a cool city. I mean, that's better than moving.
So another interesting
LA
thing,
to a small Indiana town.
another interesting thing too that I noticed about this is that this show premiered the same night as Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, jeez.
Right after it. So you have this show about a kind of scheming kid moving to California,
Right.
and which is basically a kind of a Ferris Bueller put into a rich mansion in Beverly Hills sort of situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have another Ferris Bueller prototype here with Will Smith's character, and
Right.
it's like, okay, you kind of you're oversaturating the market because you've already got Saturday mornings with your Saved by the Bell, and you got this all on NBC. And then over on Fox, you've got Parker Lewis. And I'm sure there were other like scheming kids on TV too. So it's like you're watering down the market there,
Yeah. Yeah, the show didn't have a chance following Fresh Prince. I mean,
Yeah. Which nobody knew was going to be a big hit, but
right.
that's probably why I remember this show, because I remember being excited to watch The Fresh Prince because I was a big fan of DJ Jazzy Jeff and The Fresh Prince. So
Right.
prior to this, because I was probably like 12 or so when this show came out. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
So I'm 12 or 13, somewhere around there. Yeah. So how's the show end? How's the episode end?
The episode ends with, I don't know, some bullshit where he comes home and then he's like trying to, sweet talk his mom again or whatever. Like, I was like, "Where were you?" "Oh, I was helping out at the orphanage, but then,
Oh, yeah, you brought her
I had
flowers.
time to get you some." Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, Ferris, I mean, come on, like, really?" Like, yeah, he was at the orphanage for like 2 seconds after school ended.
Well,
Like,
no,
okay,
he was in
what could he
detention.
be-
He was in detention, so that was basically him trying to explain where he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he even wasn't really there.
Oh, yeah,
either,
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, but I don't know.
Right. So, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So, then Jennifer Aniston, or Jeannie rather, she's driving home, and then the cop pulls her over, and says that the vehicle has been reported as stolen, and she's like, "Well, I'm the one that reported it as stolen." And he's like, "Oh, that's very convenient. Can you show me your license and registration?" And then apparently it's not in her glove compartment, which again is such a weird phrase, glove compartment. Like, why would you have a separate thing just for gloves? Like, I never understood that. Like, you could put other stuff in there. Why gloves?
You can't.
I don't think any.
We'll look into that. We'll after the break.
Yeah.
I'll explain to why it was, because I
Okay,
personally know, but we'll get into that after we get past this end of
Okay,
the
cool.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah, if we get past this, we just need to get past this. So she's like, "Oh, wait a minute, are you like, doing, like," she's like her brother's been conspiring all day, so she's like paranoid now, thinking that like this is one of Ferris's new tricks or whatever. So then she just speeds off, and then so she's like evading arrest now or whatever. So then she gets caught, and now she's in jail, and the bail is posted at $250. And then Ferris, being the good younger brother that he is, magically does his computer hacking skills again to have the bail posted at $250,000. Which again, how is nobody detecting this? Like, I mean, like, if there was hackers back then, there had to have been people who were working against the hackers as well. There's always, I mean, every time there's criminals, there's always people who are trying to catch the criminals. So how has no one seen any of the stuff changing? Like, whatever. And then he cracks some stupid joke about, like, oh, because his mom says, oh, well, dinner's in the microwave. We got to go to the police station to pick up your sister. And he's like, remember to stop by the bank first or whatever, you know, because it's $250. Because he only had $250,000.
That was so funny. That was so funny. Oh, wait.
Yeah, fucking idiot, Luther. Anyway, so, oh yeah, too, another joke he said earlier, which was so, oh my god, I hated that. I wanted to slap him across the face. So, like, when the LA Law guy leaves, he's like, he goes, you know, just try to keep your nose clean. And then he goes, I'm not sure if that's an expression or if I really need a Kleenex. I'm like, my god. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the end. That's it. That's the pilot.
It also makes me wonder. I don't know if maybe there was a storyline on LA Law at that point where his character was doing cocaine or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's where my mind went. But you know, looking too much into a TV show. Anyways, so do you want to take another break and we'll read some reviews and some trivia and stuff, and also talk about glove compartments?
Sure.
We'll be right back after this break, folks.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
And we are back to all two car terms. And so glove compartments, people, are a glove compartment or glove box or glovey is a compartment built into the dashboard of an automobile located over the front seat passenger's footwell and often used for miscellaneous storage. The name derives from the original purpose of the compartment to store driving gloves. Here's a little history, folks. Driving gloves were considered necessary equipment in early cars, many of which lacked a hard top to prevent the cooling effect of fast-moving air from numbing the driver's hands. So they needed gloves. Gloves are still considered necessary driving equipment on motorcycles for the same reason. Although, unlike cars, most motorcycles do not have glove boxes. So there you go.
Wow, okay.
There's a little history, folks.
That's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's all from Wikipedia, folks. You could have looked that up yourselves, but I did it for you.
Yep.
And
all to car speak.
Yes, we're gonna talk about cars because we know everything about them, right, Matt?
Yeah.
We'll be the
don't ask us for advice.
We'll be the new Click and Clack. You ever listen to them on the radio back in the day?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I used to love listening to them for some reason. My mom's husband loved listening to them, and so we would be driving the car on weekends listening to them on the way home from work and stuff. Good times. So,
good time. Yep.
So, here's a little bit of Ferris Bueller trivia. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, we have differences from the movie. Jeannie's name is spelled with 2 N's in the TV series, but only 1 in the movie. Sloane's name is spelled with an E in the movie, but not on the TV show. Katie and Tom Bueller are the names of the parents in the movie, but on the TV show they're Barbara and Bill. Grace has a crush on Mr. Rooney in the TV series. Sloane is not always wrapped around Ferris's finger and has to be won on occasion. So, in the show, I guess they break up from time to time. Although Jeannie can be arrogant, at times she can actually be good in the TV series. The setting is Santa Monica, Los Angeles, California, not Chicago. Jeannie is a senior while Ferris is a junior, when it's the opposite in the movie. And in this, Cameron actually falls in love a couple times. Although some name, casting, and setting details were changed, the viewer still got the main idea. Still get the main idea of the TV series. The reason why the cast on the show was completely different from Ferris Bueller's Day Off was because Matthew Broderick, the original Ferris, was serving jail time for drunk driving around the time. So they planned to use a replacement for a while until Broderick got out, but the show was canceled within a year. I don't know if that's true or not, but hey, I know he was in jail. This was one of the main reasons why many people didn't like it. Another complaint was how Charlie Schlatter played Ferris as more cocky and snarkier than Matthew Broderick's Ferris.
Mm-hmm.
It was beaten by its rival show, Parker Lewis Can't Lose. The characters in both the movie and the TV show are in all 13 episodes. Okay, that's some little bit of things. I do know, Matthew Broderick actually did go to jail for drunk driving. He was at the time, I'm trying to remember when this happened exactly, but I think he was actually dating Jennifer Grey at the time, who played his sister in Ferris Bueller. And they were in a car accident together, which ended up killing somebody. So technically, Matthew Broderick is a murderer.
Whoa. Yeah, weren't they in Ireland?
I think so. Yeah.
Was it? I didn't know it was drunk. I thought he was just driving on the wrong side of the road or some shit.
I don't know. The thing is that this page that I got that information from was a Ferris Bueller fan page. So.
Oh wow.
I don't know. It was like a Ferris Bueller wiki. Yeah.
That's probably right then. Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, that's for another episode when we talk about Matthew Broderick.
Being the murderer.
As well as Brandy. But, well, technically both for the same reason. Do you want me to read some reviews here, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, here is one from 2002 from Preppy3. Maybe it was Zach Morris. What do you think?
Yeah.
There's some November 26th, 2002. Here we go. Well, I liked it. Okay, this was not up to the original movie, which was great. But how could it be? For what it was, a TV series, it was pretty good. I thought Schlatter was dead on as Ferris. His talking to the audience was well done. I laughed out loud when he took a chainsaw to a cardboard cutout of Matthew Broderick from the film. And I thought Jennifer Aniston was perfect as his obnoxious sister. I seem to be alone in liking this. but I think people are comparing it way too much to the movie. There's no way any TV series could measure up to that. Taking it on its own, I thought it was a fun TV series. Okay, here's another one. From February 9th of 2000. From Mr. Six. Don't bother to save this, Ferris. The road to you-know-where is paved with good intentions. And I'm sure there are a lot of producers, directors, and so forth who are headed that way after seeing the primetime terror that they have wrought here. Ferris Bueller is a TV version of the everyday high school life of the lead character from John Hughes' brilliant movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And while the basic idea is good, everything else is completely done wrong. Schlatter is a lot of the problem. Though he looks appropriately young, he just seems too cocky, too arrogant, and too smug as Ferris to appeal to the same way as Matthew Broderick did. He manages to begin the ship sinking early. Not much better are Aniston as his sister, really as Ed Rooney, and not even the actors that play his parents, girlfriend, or best pal Cameron Fry make as much of an impression as their counterparts did on film. And then there were the scripts. Not half as inventive as the movie, not even cameos by whomever happened to be on the NBC studio backlot that day make much of a difference. No, even good direction by Bixby, Lynn, etc. helps. In the end, Ferris Bueller's series didn't even last 13 episodes. What do you know? Looks like Ed Rooney got his revenge after all. No stars. Hardly worth thinking about, unless you just want to get a headache. Here's another one. From August 24th of 2019, so just a couple years ago. 1 out of 10. Sad indeed. This is by Bench Seat. I lasted 5 minutes. Don't bother with this pathetic attempt to capitalize on the film's success. That's the whole review.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. What did you think of the show, Matt? Would you said you want to try to continue watching the other episodes, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a chance, but I did not like this pilot at all.
It's
no.
It appropriately fits our title of Pilot Error, because I don't think it's a good introduction to this show. I don't know if the show gets better because I can't remember honestly, but hopefully it does. Maybe we'll do a re-review of this later after we watch more of the episodes. If you want us to, message me at mike@cullenpark.com. Go to our Facebook group, All Too Real 2 podcast group, and let us know there. We got a bunch of suggestions of things that we can cover in the future. We are going to look into those and maybe cover some of those things that you guys suggested to us online. And I thank you for that as well, anybody that's listening that suggested things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Anything else you want us to cover or anything, just let us know. So, any last thoughts here, Matt, before we wrap things up?
Just, make sure that, you take a look around every once in a while. I totally butchered that quote. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't take a look around and, damn it, whatever. You know the thing.
If you don't look around once in a while, you might miss it.
Yeah, which, by the way, he's like, I don't remember saying that. Well, yeah, you don't, because you said it 2 years in the future, and you haven't said it yet. So, of course, you wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, he says that in a future episode that we haven't watched yet. So.
Oh, okay.
There you go, where Barbara Bush is quoting it at a commencement speech.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. God, that's so meta. Wow. I mean, really, they just did not know what they were doing with all this. Anyway, so, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say wear a mask, then you're going to say something else. I just have one point to that.
Go ahead.
The reason why I don't want to take your line from you, but
go ahead, take it.
Okay. You always say wear a mask, be good to each other, wear a mask, wear a condom. The reason why I brought that up right now is because I saw a video earlier from the Young Turks where a Republican congressman, don't know if he's a senator or whatever, congressman, talking about how, wearing masks are pointless even like full year into the pandemic, still fighting this mask thing. And they're like, nobody wore masks during the AIDS epidemic. And so there you go. Like we were saying, a condom's kind of like a mask for, that member of your body. So it's all coming together, Mike. Well, that phrase was was unintentionally bad right there. But anyway.
So this congressperson is either implying that the only way you can get COVID is if you have sex with someone, or he's implying that you can get AIDS by just breathing the air of somebody with AIDS.
Well, no, he's saying that we didn't wear masks when.
I know what you're saying.
Very few people.
But what I'm saying is that,
so therefore,
but there he's kind of implying that that we didn't have to then, so we shouldn't have to now. So what he's implying is that if science is right, which he doesn't believe it is,
right?
That but it doesn't make any sense. All I'm saying is that wearing a condom is what you do when you don't want to, get AIDS or an STD of some sort. But wearing a mask is for an airborne disease, you fucking dolt.
Exactly. So like as I was watching that, I was literally thinking of your catchphrase, wear a mask, wear a condom. I'm like, well, there you go.
Just put yourself in a fucking bubble, people. Oh wait, no, don't do that. Don't, no.
Yep, we're into 1 year and 2 days into the pandemic.
Yep.
And we're still having the fucking mask argument. It's like,
well, it's like just the other day on Facebook, they have your memories on Facebook. I had one come up that said don't believe memes, believe scientists and doctors.
Yep.
It still applies, people. Wear a fucking mask.
Yep. Actually, it's 1 year and 4 days, I think.
Whatever it is, by the time this airs, it'll be even later.
Yeah.
I mean, go out there, see if you can get a vaccine, and don't believe the hype on anti-vaxxer bullshit either. That's another thing that pisses me off, because some people close to me are starting to believe that shit, and I am like, they're like the same people that believe you should get a flu shot every year, even are starting to believe that there's something wrong with this vaccine. They're not even anti-vaxxers. They're anti-this vaccine. And they I don't know. There is no chip in it. There's no, and people are like thinking that you're going to die if you get the thing, because a couple people had adverse reactions to it, but they would have adverse reactions to it regardless. So,
right.
It's not everybody.
It's like, guys, 525,000 people in this country alone have died from this.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I'm sorry. Like, if one person dies from a vaccine, that's tragic. I'm sorry. It's terrible. But I'll take one over 525,000. I'm just saying. I'm not the greatest at math, but I'm pretty sure one is less than 500,000. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a new form of math that's different.
The logic here is the fact, okay, so I am allergic to onions.
Mm.
So then, by that logic, no one should eat onions.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the same logic they have here when it comes to this vaccine. That, some people might be allergic to the vaccine, so then nobody should take the vaccine.
Right. And you know who would wear a mask is the viewers.
Yes, he would. I believe he would talk right directly to the camera.
Yeah.
He probably still is. I think Ferris is living out in Santa Monica right now to this very day, talking to a camera that's not even there. He's living in his parents' basement. or
But
still in his bedroom.
Everyone in his family is on. It's just him now. Yeah.
Yep. Jeannie's off married with some kids. Cameron is off married with some kids. Sloane is off being a professional ballet dancer. Mr. Rooney became a billionaire. That's just my theory. This is how I think it's going to all end. And that's how the show would have ended if it lasted the 10 years it deserved to last. And
yeah.
Or maybe it should still be on the air. Maybe it should have, been, like a 30-year television franchise. And 30 plus years, and should still be on the air.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ferris, I would watch 30 seasons of this show if I was forced to, for money.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money, actually.
And putting that
like we're talking in the billions.
Putting one of those devices like Alex in A Clockwork Orange, where they open up your eyes and make you watch stuff.
Oh God!
Yeah.
That was do that with this show.
Yeah.
And then, well, wait a minute, though, because that was. Oh yeah, never mind. That was to try to brainwash him into like becoming like a non-sociopath, but it didn't really work.
Maybe they should have made him watch Ferris Bueller. Anyways, so I guess that's all we got to say here about this brilliant television show. Glove compartments. Here's another thing. Okay, wear a mask. If you're on a motorcycle, wear some gloves. Yeah. I just learned today why people wear gloves when they're driving.
Yeah.
That's why you need driving gloves. You see, if you don't have a hard top, if you got like a convertible or something, wear some gloves and wear a mask.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a condom.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.